With every organisation, there comes an environment that makes the business or company what it is. This can include the style of work involved with the company, the interactions between the workers, and the general hierarchical landscape, from the man upstairs down to the simple office clerk. All of these aspects contribute to the way an organisation is managed and how the decision-making process works within the respective organisation. It's something called office politics. Office politics, or organisational politics, is the activity exhibited by individuals in the workplace to ameliorate operational efficiency and to create an accommodating environment for the diversity of all parties within it. And it's everywhere. Regardless of the company or business, office politics applies, even in industries like retail or agriculture. With every organisation, there is a political landscape, a reflective hierarchy of workers that defines how the company or business is run. This hypothetical ladder of authority provides insight into who the power figures are and hence who is getting told what to do. This is essentially the base for office politics, as workers strive for power to improve the company, or sometimes just to benefit themselves. This can make office politics seem like a bad thing that no one would ever want to be part of. Although it commonly carries negative connotation, if we pinpoint office politics, it's simply the manipulation of this authority, and hence how the dynamics of groups within the workplace change in order to benefit the organisation. Politics, change of authority and conflict are inevitable in any organisation, and will almost certainly affect you directly or indirectly at some stage in your life. Lisa Ryan from Forbes once coined office politics as being similar to waves in the ocean. Just as you can choose to play the game that is office politics or not, you can either ride the wave or get drowned by it.
There are said to be three factors that are the root to office politics. The first being limited resources. Every company has limited time, money, energy and resources. The company and each decision maker has to allocate this appropriately. The second is information asymmetry, where certain individuals in the organisation are left in the dark on how things work. Certain individuals take advantage to exercise, maintain or steal power over others. Finally, there is a natural hierarchy. Humans by nature have a need to be at the top, receive recognition and be rewarded. Humans are also not rational entities. This creates a situation where people are in different levels of power that are not necessarily fairly aligned. One may regard office politics as an inevitable force of nature to which we must adapt in order to survive. This Darwinian take on office politics was first highlighted by the psychologist Robert Hogan, who observed that the universal dynamics underlying workplace relationships boil down to three basic evolutionary needs, or master motives. First, the need to get along, which promotes cooperation and makes us group-living animals. Work, the modern equivalent of a hunting tribe, provides a major context for affiliation and bonding. Second, the need to get along, which results from the power struggle within groups. Some individuals are more willing and able to be in charge of a group, but their power will sooner or later be challenged by other group members, resulting in internal competition and friction. Furthermore, tensions are also created by the desire of group members to be accepted and loved by the leader, resulting in group members fighting to climb up the group hierarchy. Finally, groups, and especially large groups like organisations, provide individuals with a formal system for finding meaning. This is an ecosystem of knowledge which works as a lens through which we see the world. Given how much time people spend at work, no less than a third of their adult life, organisations are essential to fulfil this third evolutionary need, that is, the quest for meaning. Sigmund Freud noted that although humans are social animals, living with others does not come easy. He compared people to a group of hedgehogs during the winter. They need to get close to each other to cope with the cold, but if they get too close, they end up stinging each other with their prickly spines. This very rule governs the dynamic of office politics. You can't go it alone, but working with others does require some discomfort.
Office politics are embedded within the nature of the workplace and is something that is unavoidable. Hence, it is important to identify the most common types of office politics as to stay vigilant and wary of the negative connotations that come along with it. One of the most common types of office politics is brown-nosing, or in other words, sucking up. This act involves a person trying to get the approval of someone in authority by saying and doing helpful and friendly things that are not sincere, in the hopes of being favoured over their peers in the eyes of the person they are sucking up to. Brown-nosing is typically seen as one of the less serious types of office politics, as it can be described as a victimless crime, and most people tend to engage in it from time to time. Moving on, a more serious form of office politics that commonly occurs at the workplace is stealing credit from a coworker. This can be considered as a form of theft and is highly immoral. An example of this would be where an employee takes recognition for work done by another coworker for themselves without crediting the person who has done the work. The act of stealing credit can be seen as an act of betrayal or backstabbing towards a coworker and may cause unrest and disharmony within the workplace. Sleeping your way to the top is a term typically associated with office politics. This is where an employee uses sex with a superior to gain an advantage over their coworkers, be it for promotion or a raise in salary. If successful, this would be extremely unfair to the other employees who have worked long and hard in the effort to gain the promotion or raise. This will cause unrest amongst other employees more deserving of the promotion or raise. On the other hand, some employees might be pressured by their bosses into engaging in sexual activities with them, with the threat of losing their job or receiving a damaging review, leaving these employees with little to no option but to give in. This causes the affected employee to feel unsafe in their place of work. These situations may also lead to gossiping coworkers, making the workplace unproductive, and also causes the employees to question the leadership. Engaging in office politics has become a necessity to get ahead in the workplace. However, it encourages hypocrisy, secrecy, and self-interest amongst the employees, producing ineffective teamwork among staff members.
You may ask, what types of people and sorts of personalities are there in an office? It has been observed that anyone can participate in office politics so long as they view it as a means to achieve their personal and career needs. This spans from CEOs and directors to assistants and receptionists. There are often clear subsets of personalities within a workplace. The ego monster is someone who is always right and often has the approach, do what I say or suffer the consequences. The climber is the person who will do whatever it takes to ensure they have the highest position of power, usually through stabbing you in the back. Mr. Good Intentions is a slight variation of the climber, but disguise their agenda with the best intentions. They smile as they sharpen their knife to plunge into your back, while patting you on the shoulder. The pilot fish is the shameless suck-up to the ego monster. Harry half-asses will never pull their weight, and people are continually cleaning up after them, while the innocent bystander will go about their business with never really getting involved. Office politics will usually occur when others gain an advantage that puts them on a higher political landscape. This is extremely prevalent in industries where there is a high amount of inter-organisational rivalry and competition, such as real estate and car sales. This process may not be harmful at first, as the competitive nature of the organisation will increase employee productivity. However, when the boundaries are pushed, the morale and well-being of the workplace can be sacrificed for an individual's own advantage. These boundaries drawn vary between different workplaces. For industries where there is more of a competitive environment, it is more acceptable to push the boundaries. However, as soon as the actions of one or the competitive banter dished out borders on workplace abuse, the line needs to be drawn.
There are a few things to be mindful of which would help you to survive or even thrive in a workplace environment where office politics is rampant. Firstly, approach your colleagues to uncover and understand their needs. Playing politics involves balancing the needs of others, the needs of the company, as well as your own. The goal is to forge a win-win situation for everyone at the workplace. From the three basic evolutionary needs, they can be classified into the following four needs when placed in the context of a workplace. The first is personal needs, which reflect an individual's aspirations and expectations in life. The second is career needs, which encompass a person's plans to fulfill those personal needs through their job or the company. The third is job needs, which are essentially the resources at work you would require to satisfy your personal and career needs. And finally, the organizational needs, which is the summation of job needs of all the individuals within the company. Secondly, build alliances with trustworthy people at your workplace. These people will uphold their end of the bargain, as well as do right by the company. Such alliances would pay dividends when the time comes for serious decision-making at the company. By having like-minded influences and decision-makers in your camp, you have the capacity to sway important decisions to your preference. And when the management does eventually take your suggestions, it would shift the spotlight onto you and the entire team. However, it is advisable not to associate yourself with just one alliance, as a staffing change could potentially cause a power shift. Thirdly, it would be useful to keep track of favors and obligations. Keep track of whom you owe favors to so that you will not be surprised or blindsided by unexpected requests. Also, keep track of who owes you a favor so that when the time comes, you can exercise your favor and ask the person for assistance. Next, never be the one to start gossip, judgment, or rumors at your workplace. This is because the workplace is not a place of confidentiality. Even if you are capable of keeping hearsay to yourself, it does not necessarily mean your co-workers are the same. It is safer to assume that anything at your workplace gets full disclosure or spread around, so be careful of what you reveal accordingly. You have to rise above any interpersonal conflicts and just let it right out. Strive to be the model of integrity within your group and discourage others from partaking in future similar activities. Last but not least, it is fine to toot your own horn at the right moments. Highlight your most important accomplishments or contributions to your boss whenever the opportunity arises, which serves to assert and promote yourself as an indispensable member of the organization. Otherwise, it may be difficult for you to stand out from the vast group of fellow employees. Be wary not to come across as a braggart by laying too much attention on yourself or claiming too much credit for a team effort in which you participated.
And that's office politics. As shown, there's a lot to it, but it can be put simply by likening it to game theory. Just like any game, you don't have to be a player in office politics, but if you want to gain more power, you have to be in it to win it.